बचाना, मन के स्वास्थ्य पर है ध्यान लगाना।
अब नहीं है हिचकिचाना, मन के स्वास्थ्य पर है ध्यान लगाना।
मन की सेहत भी है जरूरी, काउंसलर से फिर क्यों दूरी।
मन की सेहत भी है जरूरी, काउंसलर से फिर क्यों दूरी।
चलो अब अपना फोन उठाओ, मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाओ। चलो अब अपना फोन उठाओ, मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाओ। मनोदर्पण के काउंसलर से परामर्श पाने के लिए डायल करें टोल फ्री नंबर 844-844-0632। नंबर एक बार फिर सुने, 844-844-0632.
Namaskar and good afternoon and welcome to CIET NCERT's live session Paricharcha. As all of you know that Paricharcha and Sahyog sessions are held under the initiative of Manodarpan, and it's a brilliant initiative from Ministry of Education as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan to spread awareness psychosocially among the teachers, parents and students, and we also do talk about their mental well-being. So today's Paricharcha session is very special because we will be talking on special topic, and today's Paricharcha topic is self-monitoring to manage academics and relationship issues. We will be talking a lot of things on this particular topic. You are watching this Paricharcha live session on PM eVidya channel number 6 to 12, and you can also connect with us on our YouTube handles, that is by the name NCERT Official and NCERT PM eVidya class 6 to 12. Apart from that, during this Paricharcha session, if you want to connect with us, if you want to ask any question, give suggestions, or you have any query, you can just call us on the number. The number is displayed on screen. You can call us on 8800440559. This is a number where you can call, and we also do have a Manodarpan helpline number where you can call and speak to our counselors. The number is 844-844-0632. Apart from that, you can also connect with us by sending email. The email address which we have, dedicated email ID, you can write us on particular email, and you can also connect with us on our YouTube comment section over there. During this live session, you can just ask your questions over there. You can just visit to NCERT official YouTube channel. So let's begin this special session. As I told you, today's topic for Paricharcha is very important, and we are joined by several guests. Let me introduce all of you with our special guest. We are joined by Dr. Jeena KG ma'am. She is Associate Professor at RIE NCERT Bhubaneswar. We are also joined by Dr. V. Sasikala ma'am. She is Assistant Professor RIE NCERT Bhubaneswar. We are joined by Professor Bhaswati Patnaik ma'am. She is Head PG Department of Psychology, Utkal University, Bhubaneswar. And lastly, we also have Miss Divya Sharma ma'am. She is practicing counselor from Vrindavan. Very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you so much ma'am, Jeena ma'am, Patnaik ma'am, Sasikala ma'am and Divya ma'am for joining and coming in this session.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar.
So ma'am, today's Paricharcha session is very special, and I hope many of the viewers would be joining us during this live. They'll be asking their questions as well. So let's begin this session, and firstly I would come to Jeena ma'am. Ma'am, today's topic is very important, so please help us. My basic question for you is very basic, that how will you define self-monitoring? What is self-monitoring and why it is important in any student's academic life, or how will you describe why it is important for teachers and parents as well? What is self-monitoring?
Okay, self-monitoring means monitor our thoughts. So what we think, we are more conscious about others, what others are thinking, and the thoughts about in all around us, what is happening. But we are least bothered about what is happening inside. And I want to say self-monitoring means we are monitor our own thoughts, actions, behavior, our own feelings. So, when we generally discuss this, we think that this is very silly thing. ये इतना डिस्कस करने का ही आवश्यकता नहीं है. बट आप सोचिए कि when we think of a good thing या when we are thinking of a happy moment in our life, when we are getting appreciated by everyone, our mood changes. We are will be very peaceful, we will be very happy. And what happens when we think of a sad moment, when the people criticize us, when the people, our teachers or our elder people scold us, the moment comes, then our emotional state changes. So that's our single thought. Even though we are thinking of a sad incident, a accident, or negative thing, suddenly all our states changes. That means our thoughts are very powerful thing. Our thoughts have the power of what we can say, the creating the physiology. It will affect the physiology, because in the physiology, when we talk about so many enzymes and all these enzymatic actions are taking place, so all this can affect our thinking pattern. So self monitoring is very important, because we have to monitor what I am thinking, why I am thinking, why this is happening. And on an average, we can say that, and on an average, I am telling, a human being think 60,000 of thoughts every day. Okay, so and we don't know, we are not aware of that, because out of the 60,000, you think many are automatic. Automatic means what? It will chalta rahega, means it will come after one after another. तो वो ऑटोमेटिक होते हैं. Some are unconscious, we don't know we are thinking that negative incident. And majority of these 60,000 thoughts are negative, unfortunately. And we are educationists, psychologists, even now we are thinking more on negative than the positive. So think of that, students, adolescents, they are have that problem of identity confusion and all the stress, peer pressure and all. So their thoughts will be more on negative side. So self monitoring is an important tool to come into a stop on that. It will and what are the behavior? When we think of positive thing, our behavior also positive. Again, vice versa, when we think of negative things, we our mood will off, otherwise we will mood off, and then our actions will also be negative. So all these are in order to control this, the we have to be monitor our thoughts. So that is the best thing that we can do. It will affect our actions. So we can choose healthier responses also. That is when we are thinking, and some suppose for example there is a exam is coming. Yeah, we have to do something on the date. Yeah, submission date is coming. Yeah, we are work under very pressure. Yeah, some other peer pressures are coming. So all these stresses us. So when this stress is coming to a normal level, it's okay. When it cross the boundary, we have to monitor that. So self monitoring help us to do that. When we are overwhelming, and with sometimes we will cry without any reasoning, because we cannot control what is happening, because mind is such a powerful thing that we are not able to understand how it is working. Even the psychologist, now also the brain researchers are also, and so many quantum physicists, all are defining what is happening, the way of working of the mind. So all this indicate that mind is very powerful. So we have to monitor each every minute what I'm thinking, how is my behavior is happening, how I can do that, like this. So this will check this chronic anxiety. Yeah, this also help us in monitoring our own thought patterns and behavior. And also self monitoring is needed for emotional regulation, because we have some in the student life, we are we are not matured enough to take the criticism as granted, so that will affect us. So sometimes frustration, sometimes jealousy that our friends are good looking, that also is a problem. And our skin color we are concerned about, our performance in the class we are concerned about. So all these things, when we overpower us, that is the point I am noting. Some at a certain level it's okay. When all these negative things overpower us, in order to to cut short of that, we need self monitoring. The monitoring ourselves, monitor is always that you keep an eye on it, yeah, checking that what kind of things are we are thinking. We are telling that mind, I am told that mind is very powerful, because everything starts from mind. Even we know that wars are start from mind. First it starts in the mind itself. So from that it will reflect on our behaviors, like that. So that the first moment we have to monitor our actions, behavior. And this course, these are very beneficial for the students, because the adolescent stage, as the psychologist also will be discussing in the different aspects of this area, because all these psychologists also are telling that the adolescent age is a very special period in the life of an individual, because we are not considered as an adult, and also we are not a children. In between that, sometimes we are considered as a very responsible person, sometimes we are treated as a children. So there is a identity confusion also. So all these will affect their thought pattern and behavior. And self monitoring is a very good tool. We have to monitor ourselves, because we don't know what is our plus point, what our thinking, what our strength, what our weakness, how to do, how to say no, how to say, when to say yes. So all these things will do, yeah, its own work when we are saying, when we are doing our monitoring our thoughts. So monitoring our behavior, monitoring our actions. So that's why it is very important. And also this self monitoring help also to limits our beliefs. Like we have some limiting beliefs, we can say that. What is that limiting belief? Sometimes we'll say that this is, I can't do this, yeah, I am not able to do this, I am not strong, I am weak. So all these can be, we can have a what we can say, a check,
Okay.
why I'm telling this, like that. So this is the thing I want to say. I think there are so many panelists are joined here. They will take up different aspects of this issue. And thank you for this question, very important question. So I conclude with this, and I expect that all other panelists also, they are very experts in this field. They will they will give more elaborative discussion on the different aspects of this relevant topic.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
definitely, ma'am. I'll take views of today's topic from to our remaining panelists as well. But what I've learned from your conversation, from your answer, is that you really gave a good figure about the thoughts that, on an average, a human being somewhere goes with 60,000 of thoughts every day. And most of the thoughts are those thoughts on which we don't have any access, we don't have control on particular thoughts. They are very natural. and what exactly this self-monitoring is all about. I'll come back to you, ma'am. Let me come to Sasikala, ma'am. Sasikala, ma'am, what will you say on today's topic? Gina ma'am helped me and our viewers to understand that what actually self-monitoring is all about. But if I talk and I ask you about the self-monitoring process, that why it is important and how anyone, whether it could be student, teachers or might be their parents, if someone implies how anyone can get the benefit of self-monitoring regarding their mental well-being, and through practicing this self-monitoring, how anyone can have success or have the accessibility regarding their relationship status or regarding their academic performances or regarding their mental well-being.
Yes, sir. Thank you for this question, because it's the core area of this, like why this self-monitoring is. It is not just for the students also, it is for parents, it is for teachers and any individual. They have to monitor or observe themselves. Self-awareness is very important. Knowing about themselves, to have a control of our own beliefs. This self-monitoring is actually as a personality trait or a psychological concept. If you see, it refers to the ability of one to observe or regulate his own behavior, thoughts and emotions. So obviously it is helpful for every individual. That is, we are responsible for our own thoughts. As madam said, Gina madam said, like 60,000 thoughts come and go, but it is not like without our subconsciously or consciously we are giving that way for those thoughts to enter into our minds with our experiences. So we will be able to observe what sort of thoughts that are coming to us. The thoughts decides our behaviors. They affect our emotions. So it is very, very important that everyone, anyone, any individual has to develop the skill or the ability to observe and regulate their behaviors and thoughts and emotions. And why it is very much important for the adolescent children is because in this we are living in a technology driven world where distractions are more. The dysfunctional thoughts, like as ma'am also addressed, like where we have to be assertive, there we are not able to be assertive, and we have to control some sort of, because this is all the cognitive process, that is the thinking patterns or the process affects our attitude and how we act for it. So it is like when you are able to have a control over your thoughts, then you are able to control over your behaviors. That is the act. So the act of the attitude towards something, how we perceive something, that is also very important. So, see, if we see like what we see, the students in a classroom setup, if we see what we are seeing, like how you have the technological gadgets like mobile, TV, these are all creating so much of distractions among the young children. Like when you are scrolling through the mobile, we get so many distractions in it. We have to control like what we have to see and what we have to avoid. And when we are speaking also, the children, especially the adolescent children or anybody, have to have a control over what we are talking. See, out of anger, out of excitement, out of depression, we speak certain things which is going to affect someone. So we are the one, we can control the what we talk. So, and then our body language and our what we eat. Obesity is one of the another problem. So what we have to eat is also, when you are placed with like so much of junk foods, we teach to young children like don't eat junk foods, go for healthy foodstuffs and other things. But on seeing so much of colors, you see the advertisements, we get like attracted to it. So but we lose our control what to eat. We prefer for some junky or unhealthy foods. Like there also we need to control our tongue, our senses. That is, I mean, like all the senses of us has to be in a control. We have to monitor what we see, what we have to see. Every time we have to see like what they have to see, because we monitoring is not like somebody will come and monitor you, then you feel like supervised. See, the monitoring should be done within ourselves. When it is done by ourselves, we have to be the masters for ourselves, means we have to involve in self-monitoring. We have to develop this skill or ability among the children so that they will be masters for themselves. They will not need an external person to come and say like, this you should not watch, this you should not talk, this is hurting, the way you talk, the voice tone or what you spoke or what you do is hurting somebody. If you are having this skill or ability, then you will be a this is a very valuable skill that we are going to give to our children. If you see the psychology theories like Coulé's looking glass theory or self-regulation theory, all these theories, what they say is like how you take the social cues from the social situation and how your responses and responding to it. Because man, everybody is a social, humans are social animals. We have to act in accordance with the societal norms and behaviors. Our behaviors are reflected with our thoughts also. So you have to act as based on the social cues. When you have to smile, when if we are putting a situation like you go for an disaster area and you how you have to behave, that also it is like you have to control your emotions and then you have to act as per the situation calls for it. So this is the skill that every individual or the adolescent students also should learn. So this will be helping them to adjust and adapt to in any situation or any social situation. And as per academics or relationship, the goal is very important. People have, every individual have academic goals as well as the relationship goals. When we have to work towards our goal, the goal need to be directed. So the direction is given through this self-monitoring. So this monitoring, like for student life, they have to balance both academics as well as their relationship. Relationship may be with their peer, teacher, parents, where their neighbors or relations, everybody. And in school setup, classroom behaviors are also very important. Doing their homework is also a goal. Working for their class subjects is also very important. They have to monitor themselves whether they have made their study plans as per suitable for their potential or abilities. It is not that somebody will come and make a study plan for you. It will not work for you. So that is why the self-monitoring, what is my, as Gina madam pronounced, the SWOT analysis, like the what is my strength, what is my weakness, what are the challenges that is waiting for me, how I can overcome it. So all these things can be addressed by an adolescent through this self-monitoring. So that you can be the master of you, and that will be helpful for your success and your performance will be very good. And you can, this is a life skill actually. One has to learn and they have to practice it. Due course of practice, this monitoring will help any individual to do better in their life. That's why this topic is chosen, and the panel members here over here will be discussing on other aspects, why this skill will be helpful, how this skill will help to manage your relationship, to perform as a better social responsible person.
Correct.
Thank
I think,
you.
ma'am, I think you have given us a various and a type of several examples which helped our viewers to understand that why this self-monitoring is important in our life, in students' life, or whether in teachers' or parents' life. And you had given a very more example. And what personally I think, ma'am, that in most of the phases of our life, we need help of someone else to monitor our phases of that life. That could be, might be in education, that could be in choosing a career. But just doing a self-inspection or self-monitoring, how students, teachers, or any human being can have the benefit and they can have the beneficial of this self-monitoring. That's what you explained us beautifully. I'll come back to you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now I'll come to Baswati Patnaik, ma'am. Ma'am, since all of you, 4 of the guests you are present here in my panel, you all come from education fraternity. But since you are head of PG Department of Psychology, you might have, and you are habitual of interacting with the students, you have a brief idea that what tendency or mindset certain students do have regarding their career, regarding their academics life, whatever. What will you say and how will you define for a perspective of a student's life? If I talk about a particular student, what will you say that how self-monitoring is beneficial for a student in his or her academic life?
Thank you for the question. Am I audible? Yes.
Right, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. Actually, what I need to first say is we are first humans who are very different from animals.
Right.
And the primary distinction between humans and animals is the very fact that we can judge, we can analyze our own thoughts and then react. For the animals too, they impulsively act, impulsively behave as per their own instincts. But we as humans, we can analyze and judge and what we are thinking, decide for ourselves, and then we react. So that is the advantage of being human, that we protect ourselves from behaving impulsively. So this reflectivity is the asset of a human being which sets us apart from the animals. Suppose a dog gets angry, it might bite someone without any thought. Just for example, still the dog thinks about it. But so for ourselves, when we speak a word or when we talk to people, when we act, we don't do it as per our emotion or whatever we think at the moment or whatever we feel at that moment. So we first think that what should be the right choice of speaking something or doing something or expressing our thoughts. So this is an analysis that we can make as a human. So having said that, the 5 advantages of this self-monitoring I would like to spell out. There are many, but for the student life specifically, I would like to say that self-monitoring actually helps us in 5 ways. That is, first is increasing our emotional intelligence. Second is becoming a reflective individual. Third is enhancing our mindfulness. And fourth is prevention of mental health issues like anxiety and depression. And the last one is the protection of human dignity. The last one is the protection of human dignity. What is that? I would start from the last one. That is, protection of human dignity is the primary concern that we are humans and we have a right to life with dignity. And we are entitled to have our own dignity, and other humans also have this right to protect their own dignity. So before we act, before we talk, before we send any message to anyone, before we do anything, we must look for whether it is morally right or not, or whether it is correct in the accepted society or not. And being educated doesn't mean to acquire only knowledge and more information and be smart in a different way. But being a student means that you should be knowledgeable about the morality, about what is the should and should not aspect of the life, and we should not affect adversely the dignity of other individuals. So when we talk about anything to others, we must be on guard that it is not hurting any other people, it is not embarrassing to other people, and what I am saying, I cannot take it back once I have spelled it out. So I must monitor my thought, monitor my language, monitor my action so as to protect my dignity as well as others. That is one. Second is mindfulness is something that is very important today, that is being on the moment. What is mindfulness? It is being at the present moment. That means we overemphasize, like whatever has happened in the past, we mull over it, we think about it, we indulge in overthinking, that is, ye ho gaya mere se. But if we remain in the past, we lose the present. And if we emphasize or we are over anxious about what is going to happen to us in future, and we also overthink in what will be happening. We are over anxious. We are, overwhelmingly, what is that called, apprehensive about what is going to happen to us. So over emphasis on future or over emphasis on past makes us lose our very precious present, the present moment. So mindfulness is very important in the sense that we should be present in the moment, in all our senses, in all our attention. So this mindfulness can only happen if we can self-monitor our thoughts. That is, many people unconsciously indulge in, daydreaming, or they become sad by thinking about what has already gone by, mulling over the failures and all that, or they are over anxious what is going to happen to us in future. So that is going to, it's a very bad time management. So mindfulness can save all of us from this loss of time by being present in the moment and mindful about what is going on around us, by being conscious of what we are doing at the right time. Or suppose I am studying, I must be 100% conscious that what I am actually studying. And many times people look at the books, but their mind is somewhere else. So when in all senses you are self-monitoring yourself, that you are all attention, then mindfulness can be achieved. So in whatever work, whether you are taking bath or you are eating or you are studying, if you are fully in your present moment, then mindfulness can be achieved. And this mindfulness is very important nowadays to fully concentrate on any task of yours. And it is possible only through self-monitoring. That is, being conscious of what you are thinking at the moment, and so as to regulate it and come back to senses, come back to present. So this is the second one I emphasized, apart from protecting people and protecting our human dignity in others and self. That is first one. Second one is I told you about mindfulness. Third is the emotional intelligence. Many times students think that only intelligence works. If I am good at academic subject, I can solve problems in books, I can solve mathematical and scientific problems, then I am intelligent and that is all in student success. No. Emotional intelligence is very, very important, as it is as equal in importance as intelligence. So for success, for handling your failures, for enjoying your success, for regulating your emotions, for everything, emotional intelligence is very important. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is to be aware of your own emotions, to have control over your own emotions, and also manage your emotions in self and others effectively. So the four dimensions of emotional intelligence, as all of you know, is, I think you all know, are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and the social skills. All these dimensions of emotional intelligence are all related to self-monitoring. So when you are able to monitor your thoughts, emotions, and behavior, all these 5 dimensions of emotional intelligence will be definitely achieved. So that is the third one. So what is the other two? Other two is the enhancing the reflection, or what I say is the becoming the reflective individual. What is becoming a reflective individual? It is just the opposite of impulsivity. By impulsivity, what I mean is, on an impulse you feel slapping someone and you slap someone and you regret it later on. That is called impulsivity. So reflectivity means when you take stock of your emotions and you feel that, acha, this is I'm feeling very anxious now, so I must take a break, I must take a pause, and then I would act. So when I monitor all my emotions and then analyze my emotions and then prepare for action, that is called reflexivity. So self-monitoring enhances our self-reflection and it helps us to become a reflective individual. And last but not the least, I would emphasize protecting ourselves from mental health issues. protecting ourselves from mental health issues comes from self-monitoring. Many people feel depressed, many people feel sad, but they don't identify that they are becoming, slow, they are becoming very sad, their activity is decreasing, their daily life is not functional. All these are not realized by the individual and they succumb to many mental health issues like anxiety and depression. But if you are a habitual self monitor or you are habitually or very active self monitor, then you can definitely discover that your mental health functions are not quite all right. You must see a counselor, or your emotions are not normal right now. First, you think that you can accept it, but if it goes out of hand, then you must see a counselor. So, how do you detect that your emotion is not under control? You need self monitoring for that. So, many a times you can prevent the mental health issues in future if you are conscious, if you are a good self monitor of what goes on in your mind, what thoughts, whether positive thoughts or negative thoughts, are engulfing your mind, what kind of emotions are engulfing your mind. If you are a good self monitor, then you can definitely protect yourself from mental health issues in future. So I think self monitoring can definitely help students in all these 5 aspects and many more, which the other panelists will definitely throw light on.
I think, ma'am, in easy language, you helped our viewers to understand, and especially those 5 points which you describe, whether it's mindfulness or emotional intelligence or society protecting from different health issues, or one thing, reflecting individual. I have just written it down for myself also. Today I have learned a new things. I'll come back to you, ma'am. Easily you helped our students in very easy language that why self-inspection, or what you call in today's topic on which we are discussing, is self-monitoring is important. Now, Divya ma'am, my next question is to you. What I understood till the session, I'll not say I'm coming to conclusion, but yes, what till the time I have understood from 3 of our panelists, we had discussed a lot of things, that what monitoring activities is all about and why this self-monitoring is important in academics and relationships. But one thing what I had heard and what I had watched from my childhood period is, we are the self one who can expect ourselves. We are the one who can monitor ourselves. I know what is good in me, what is bad in me, what good habits do I have, what bad habits do I have, and if I'll work on them, definitely I'll achieve success, I'll become one good person. But most of the people or students, they don't work on this particular issue. If I ask you about the relationship, and especially how will you say or how will you define that, what are some basic signs or indications of healthy and unhealthy relationships?
Thank you, sir, for this beautiful question. I would like to start with this. Say, my dear students, we have always learned that health is wealth, right? Now, see, we are not constrained only to the health, the physical health. We are talking about the mental health here as well. Now, suppose, for example, you are studying and you're a very good student and you're studying, but one of your friend comes and says that, come, let's go for a movie or something. You have already studied since morning. Now, let's play a game or go out for a movie. Now your conscience is telling, no, my dear, tomorrow you have exams, so you should focus on that. But still, your friend is constantly telling you, no, we should go out and watch a movie, or we should play a game. What will happen? Suppose you went out and you spend 4 to 5 hours in that. Now what happens is, what you would have studied in that particular time of the hour, you really missed it. So what do you consider? Is that a healthy relationship? No. See, now relationship does not only mean that you are connected with any of your loved ones. Now loved ones can be your friends, your teachers, your peers, your anybody. Previously, I remember, the bond with our teachers was such that if a teacher, has given us a homework, or, if she passes by also, we would feel like, oh my God, ma'am is going to scold me or something like that. But nowadays, that fear has actually turned into love. Both of them has become so compatible there are many understandings and many misunderstandings also, but there is a way to present ourselves or to keep our thoughts. See, my thought cannot be matched, a student's thought cannot be matched with a teacher, or teacher's thought cannot match with a student. That is very obvious. But if you healthy way, if you sit with that person and if you speak out your thoughts, I'm very sure that person will understand your feelings. It's just the presentation. Like in a hotel, when you go and you ask for a food and the food is served like, just randomly, you'll not like to have the food. But when it is presented in a very proper way, you will feel like you will have the food. Okay, so it's the talking about the presentation. Now if we talk about the parents are very busy in their day-to-day lives, because of the inflation and many other things. It's very obvious and very practical. But what is happening if that child is have a good relationship, have a healthy relationship with that parent, have that trust with that parent, no matter how much the parent is busy, still he or she will take out the time to talk with the parent. It's just that talking it out. But what is happening is the students basically, who are not connected with the parents or are having unhealthy relationships, are actually feeling very isolated. They are connected with the world, or maybe in the Facebook or something, they are mentioning in a relationship. But actually, if we see in a practical sense, they are very much isolated. They want themselves to be secluded from the world. They want their own lives. They want their own spaces. And this spaces, my dear students, once if you start giving so much spaces to yourself, or making so much spaces between your friends, your parents, your teachers and everything, slowly and gradually it will turn to anxiety, depression and everything. Just speak it out, just talk to them. It will just have 1 minute just to talk it out, whatever is there in your mind. What will happen? See, the basic problem is, say if somebody says something wrong to me, okay, that is not a problem. But the problem happens when that person is not there right moment, and I'm sitting alone, and in my mind that cassette is going on, that why that person said to me such and such thing, he or she should not have said this and this thing, and I should not have reacted, why I reacted like this, and why such and such person created such and such problems. Now what happened? I am not talking with that particular person, but in my subconscious mind I'm creating this cassette in my mind, which is actually harming me. Instead, if these thoughts are coming, just directly go to that person and talk with that person. Right? Now, if we talk again about the dysfunctional thoughts, which Sashikala ma'am has also referred, and Gina ma'am also have referred, dysfunctional thoughts are such thoughts which it gives us some negativities about ourselves or about others. Let me explain in a very simple way. For example, like in a dysfunctional thought, if we talk, suppose a teacher says the student that, my dear students, tomorrow you have a class at 10 a.m. and you have to be present at 10 a.m. no matter what. Now all the students, they were present at 10 a.m. but the teacher did not come at 10 a.m. due to some or the other reasons. Now what happens? The students, they will think that the teacher told us to come at 10 a.m. but she's only not present. But if we rewind ourselves and think in another way, that maybe ma'am got stuck in some other thing, maybe sir got stuck in some other thing, that is why he or she was not able to come. So these are the dysfunctional thoughts. If you write it in your diary, maintain a personal diary and write it, that because you have the competition with yourself, how you were 5 days ago, how you will be 5 days after. As we update our Facebook or WhatsApp, we should update ourselves as well, right? So when you're writing about your dysfunctional thoughts, all your the thoughts which are correct for you and which are not correct. If you are better, you have to be the best, and if you are not better, then it's your as other panelists also added about the SWOT analysis, that you have to think that what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, and what are your threats, and you have to work on those particular things and work, so that you can understand this little difference between this healthy and unhealthy relationships. Now see, again, my dear students, this relationship is a very vital issue for all of us, and a very important place it holds in our lives. The persons whom you can trust, whom you have mutual understandings, or you have compatibility with that person, or that person understands you well, who is your true well wisher, who does his own work also and helps you out as well in that particular thing, who shows you the right path, who shows you the difference between right and wrong, who shows you the path when you are not able to judge the difference between the correct and the wrong thing. That is the healthy relationship. And the unhealthy, if we talk about, then what happens is a relationship, for example, you are thinking that person as your very best friend, but that person is becoming possessive of you, or is becoming jealous of you, or is not wanting your success, or maybe is not happy with you but showing you that he or she is happy, or making you feel down. So please, my dear students, that is not a healthy relationship for you. That is not good for both of them. Either you need to sort it out, that see, I'm having such and such issues, if you can improve your habit, then we can be friends. But if not, then please, we need to have some distance with each other, because if you don't act that particular moment of time, later on it will be dangerous, not only for you but for that other person also, because you both are not compatible, not able to understand or keep your thoughts with each other. This will have an unhealthy dependence upon each other. You will be working together but still not working together. So this relationship, if we talk about again, in not only in the school terms but at home also, with other family members, or maybe with our peers, because we are attached our whole day, almost half of the day it goes with our friends, our families, our cousins and everybody. So it is not restrained to upon a particular person. Okay, it depends on the whole family as well. Now it's just that it's very difficult to make a relationship. It takes years and years, but it takes a minute to get destroyed. But if we can really work upon it, or keep ourselves healthy. Now again, healthy here is a very very delicate term which I am using, because it was just relationship. But this healthy and unhealthy, it's just a difference of UN with each other. Now if you can maintain this thing, then you are well set to go. Otherwise it will be very difficult to maintain, to go on with this particular thing. Other panelists have discussed about the self monitoring. Now, once if you self monitor, as our topic of the day is, if you self monitor about yourself, about what you are actually doing in your life and with whom you are sitting, because it says a person is known by the company he keeps. Okay, these are the proverbs. It was just not made, it has some meaning to it. With what association we are living, we are standing, we are going, whatever we are doing. Because a person, suppose if you are sitting and standing with a thief, then you will also be called as a thief. Right? You are not a thief, but since your association is not proper, so you will also be, called as that particular thing. And if you are sitting with a saint, and saint here does not mean that a person who has left the world and everything, not that. Saint means you are a good, a moral and ethical person. If you are sitting with that person, you'll automatically, your association, you will be treated as a good name and fame. And not only you, but if you are also a good person, you can change that person directly. So this is the difference between a healthy and an unhealthy relationship, which everyone must consider about it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Divya ma'am. You helped us to understand the importance and identify the healthy and unhealthy relationships. And you are one of the best practicing counselor I have been interacting with. Since when you were giving the answer on this question, I remember I do have one incident which I remember when I was like a child and I used to study in my school time. My teacher used to often get angry with me because I was not caring myself. Sometimes my shoelace was not properly tied. Sometimes I was unable to complete my homework on time. And that time when my teacher used to get angry on me, I do have a thought for her that why she used to get angry on me. Then after some time, I came to know that this is just to teach me the importance of discipline to make me a good person. Then after I realized, so you have given me and our viewers several examples that how can we identify healthy relationships and what is the importance behind that. I'll come back to you, ma'am. Till the time, we have learned a lot of things in this session, Paricharcha. Dr. Gina, ma'am, I'll come back to you since we have been talking a lot of things on today's topic. I would ask you that how can this particular practice, I'm talking especially about practicing, how can developing self-monitoring skills help anyone with peer pressure to make responsible?
Thank you so much for this wonderful question. So, when we are talking about this talk, I'm listening to Vasudhi ma'am and Divya ma'am. They are speaking from their experiences. So many that this is kind of topic that we can go for one day, full day, we can talk. So, coming to this question, so how this is important, how self-monitoring, we are discussing many aspects of this. So, what I want to stress here is when we do self-monitoring, it enhances our self-awareness. Self-awareness, the foremost, important skill among all the life skills, because when we are aware of ourselves, and it is very leastly happen, we are not at all bothered about ourselves, our inner world. We are more concerned about others, our neighbors, our other friends and all, what they are doing, what strengths they are, what they are good at, what they are bad at. But we are least concerned about our strength, our weakness. Even though sometimes we are concerned about our strengths, I am good at in speaking, I am good at in drawing, but we don't like to analyze our weaknesses. That is psychologically also, because we want to be very peaceful, we want to be very that we have to show that a better face to all. So we are least bothered, we are not like to identify our weakness. So the psychology says that when we are attempt to identify our weakness, automatically our system, our body, our the system will reduce it. So this self-monitoring, first it helps to, it enhances our self-awareness. So as Divya ma'am also with many examples she cited, that we have a healthy relationship, and the peer pressures are there for skipping the classes, so many things are there. So when these are happening, when we are aware of ourselves, we are monitoring, we are practiced this self-monitoring, then we will notice whether to do it, whether it will help me. If it is not, we will check that, we will stop that. So that is the one thing. And when we are doing this self-monitoring, everyone, that is not only the students, this is applicable to all. In different phases we are coming with a different problem, as many of us has shared. Sasikala ma'am also shared that we are in different phases of health, we have different obstacles, with different challenges. So this self monitoring means to give a stop, and we interrupt these automatic reactions. And sometimes we are not able to say no when we want, and we became silent, that giving a yes to others. So all these can be stopped. So this self monitoring help us to do that. We will create a mental pause before reacting, because if the peer pressures, all these things are there, they will ask us to that smoking, some alcohol drinking in a party, going somewhere without informing our loved ones, parents. So they will think, if they have that habit of self monitoring, they will think the potential risk that will happen by deciding this. So this self monitoring help us to create a mental pause. And also it also strengthens our values and beliefs, because when we are regularly checking our thoughts, even what is happening, what is whether I am thinking negative, yeah, I am more on positive. So some negative thoughts comes now, it is easy to identify. So it will consistently, when we are doing this, then we can able to identify some negative behavior, and itself automatically it strengthens our personal values. And also that our panelist also discussed, Vasudhi ma'am also focused on emotional regulations. So self monitoring helps to identify the emotional triggers, and sometimes no, without this we can't control our emotions, especially among the adolescents. They were risk taking behavior is there, and they cannot control whether it is anger, whether it is their sadness. So the self monitoring practice is there, we can identify that, and also we can use calming techniques. There are mindfulness techniques, meditation, like some techniques are there, so we can practice that. And also we sometimes we will be very anxious, so all these can be checked. And if there is a group activity in the group, when the students become in a group, the group psychology is also different. And we in psychology say it's a mob psychology, means their individual, they will not think, that their thinking pattern also changes. That's why in groups the students, yeah, they will go beyond the control. So if we have this self monitoring and regularly checking our thoughts, behaviors, actions, we will not go for that. There should be a controlled, emotional regulation will be there. And of course it also helps to solve our problems, you know. This problem solving skill is also very important. Even in order to solve a problem, every day we are finding one or the other problems. Even the adults, even the students, there is no day like that we are not confronting a problem. So that is also there, that skill also it enhances. And the more important one is, when we do this self monitoring, we build our enhances the confidence, and also we become assertive. Assertive means that we say no to them. Sometimes many of us can't say no, you know, then we keep silent. Then this not saying, you know, no creates a big trouble among the all individuals, especially among the students, especially among the adolescents. So it becomes, yeah, enhances their assertiveness. They positively communicate, yeah, assertively communicate, and they respect the boundaries, and they communicate without feeling guilty or pressurized, respectfully resists, yeah, critically resist the peer pressures. So this is the one of the important thing that it helps the adolescent. And also we already discussed that it reduces the negative thoughts. When the negative thoughts comes, no, and we are already discussed, so many thoughts are coming. So we are going to check, that means whenever there is a negative thought, we will identify that. So if I am going for a movie, if it is good, yes, safe for me, they will check, and accordingly they take the decisions. And also healthy boundaries they will set. How that they you know that friends, peers are the foremost thing for the adolescents. They respect and they value their opinion, the friends opinion, than their parents. So when they are crossing the boundaries, when the friends are crossing boundaries, they are overstepping the limits, they can identify, because but they will think that they can politely refuse their request. So self monitoring only helps to set healthy boundaries. And also when we do all these things, all individuals, not only students, not only adolescents, Self-monitoring always help us to reflect on our thoughts, our actions, and also it will align with the what is good to the person, good to the society, and it will align with the long-term success. So we will that suppose for example we have to go for a trip the previous day of exam, or we have to study for this cracking that exam. We will think, and instead of going out, it is better to study and better to mold our future. They will think. So how they will get this capacity? Through this self monitoring, by monitoring their own thoughts, behavior, and when it becomes a practice, it become habit. Whatever happens, when whether wherever we go, we have to be very this in a good way. We will automatically when check the negative thoughts, and it will always and leads to our goal orientation. Yeah, will achieve whatever why we want in the life in a very positive way.
Correct.
I think I will conclude here. Let the other panelists also discuss the different. Thank you so much.
I think by implementing these basic practices in our life, one can just develop his or her skills in self-monitoring, and Dr. Jeena ma'am had described all those with such good examples. Dr. Sasikala ma'am, one important thing which I would like to ask you, please explain us during this session and during this entire conversation. What I was thinking is there is an important term of adapting, जिसे हिंदी में हम अनुकूल होना कहते हैं. Often in day-to-day life, we meet a lot of people. There is a human tendency that if we want to change anything, people generally say that I am habitual of that. मेरी आदत हो गई है. आदत को बदलना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. It's very difficult to change our something or some habits. Often we are habitual of. It's difficult for us. So when we talk about this topic, self-monitoring, adapting is one of the important word, and it's an important terminology. So how will you describe that by practicing self-monitoring? How can one just improve and how can one get the help or benefited in adaptation?
Yes, sir. Actually, everybody to survive in this world, we have to adapt and modify behavior. Actually, education's ultimate goal is for adaptation or modification, desirable modification in the behavior. That is the ultimate aim of any education. And this you learn through lifelong process. We are not we do it as an as madam said, like once you practice this for continuously and consistently, then it becomes your habit. When it becomes somebody's habit, then it is difficult for you to change. So but we cannot be like cognitively we have to be flexible. If we are very rigid, we will not be able to adjust or adapt. So if a child like from home environment, when he or she moves to the school environment, she has to adjust and adapt to that. The behaviors that she is expressing at home it's not acceptable in the school, where she has to adapt the environment. And it is like when you grow, automatically we switch to different schools, different environment. Per day, we start from home, we go to school, we travel in the society, we mingle with the people, you go to park, and then you go for a movie for entertainment, or you go for a play or a tournament, and end of the day you come back home, and then you have to adapt with your siblings. Everything needs, like, you have to adapt and modify your behavior. We are not animals, or like that sixth sense we say, like we have to modify it. And as in the beginning I said, like this self-monitoring is a personality trait. Personality trait is that it is like how the person present himself and adapt for the social cues or the social situations. As per the situation, we have to modify our behavior. This adaptation is very, very important for anyone. That is why we say like we don't expect somebody to come and tell what you have to modify. When you were telling like the others, when they come and say, oh, you are not supposed to talk like this, we feel little bit hurt. But when you yourself chew or introspect, why I spoke like that? Sometimes out of anger, we talk something aloud or the tone of voice, then we introspect and we think by ourselves like why at that moment I could have hold a little patience, right? So when we are focusing on ourselves, then we can target some behavior which is like when you, that's what I said, like SWOT. When you do like strength, and somewhere we are not without weaknesses, so we have to think of our weakness and you target some behavior which is maybe a habit for ourselves. You target that behavior and you note down how much frequency, with how many duration we are expressing that sort of anger, being angry or losing temperament, how we are not able to control our emotions, so that when we are focusing, we will be able to manage and regulate it. That is what we are telling, like first you have to see, monitor it, then you are, that is, we are gradually moving from awareness of self to action. That is what this self-monitoring is, a magic tool. That's what everybody said. It's a tool. It is a magic tool. With nobody's help, within self-introspection, we will be able to monitor. So, and this, I will give an example like from the story of Ekaleva. We all would have known like Ekaleva is a tribal boy who learned archery. He wanted to learn archery. He approached Dronacharya for teaching it. He didn't accept, so he learned it by himself. He took him as his guru, and then he observed at a distance how he is teaching Arjuna. So he observed everything and he analyzed it and he practiced him, and he observed what he observed, he practiced. He observed himself whether he is following the actions performed by him, what he actually observed, what was taught by Dronacharya. He was his own teacher, but he made an idol of Dronacharya in front of him, but he was monitoring himself, whether he analyzed himself, whether he is performing in the right way. And he was making adjustments of his own way of holding the bow and arrow and then doing the archery skills. In this way, he mastered the skill and actually he surpassed Arjun, who was so called to be the best archery, because Dronacharya was making Arjuna as a like power kid for known for archery.
Correct.
But Ekaleva surpassed him just because of this monitoring skill. He monitored him. So that is why we say like it is a easy and handy and magical tool which we have ourselves in our hand. So when you are able to monitor yourself, you will be able to easily adapt. You will know when I am able to lose my temper. Or even now we can see like some of the academic pressures, they say like some students commit suicide. But actually if they give a thought process over it, then they will immediately think, why for such silly thing? Because academics are not like fully their life. It is a part of life. When we think, they will say like, if you meet such people's interview, they say, that was a wrong decision I made. I was mad at that time. They say that. So that's what we say, like when you monitor your thoughts, then you will not go pray for such dysfunctional thoughts. That is why we want the people to be master of themselves. Somebody's help, even in the counseling process or the therapy process, especially cognitive behavioral therapy and all, we are helping them to modify their behaviors through their thought process only.
Right.
So there comes the magic. You are the one who can control your thoughts. You are the one who can modify your behavior. You are the one who can discontinue all the adaptive behaviors that you are accepting.
Absolutely.
Any crime that is happening, it can be resolved only with self-discipline. This self-awareness, self-concept, self-esteem are the success stones of anybody.
Correct,
it is
ma'am.
not somebody who will lay the pathway for your success.
Right.
That is why we have to customize our path of success. That is this tool. monitoring of ourselves, which will make you aware of yourself so that you can forecast or predict or anticipate your failures, where I am going to fall. You can understand, yeah, this is where I have to change my path and deviate, change it, diversion here and then, so that I will not fall. So when you are very clear on your path, you will be visibly, you can see the hurdles that are approaching you, where your
Definitely.
pitfalls, where you are doing wrong. For this, everyone, each and everyone, especially the adolescents, the period is full of stress and storms, as Gina ma'am said, like so many distraction, like drug and so many things are there. We cannot control, like we can put child lock or some other strategies, like applications are also there to modify our health. The app phones, health fitness apps say, like you're sitting, you go and do walking, you are eating something, how much water you drank. There are so many technological devices are also helpful now. The gadgets are available. Sometimes we can take such gadgets to monitor ourselves, which will alert you, alarm you, or you write a journal of yourself what you did. So such kind of practices will make yourself, you will be the self and you will be the sculptor of you. So
Correct,
I
ma'am.
finally say, like consistently self introspecting will be helpful for the ability to adjust the behavior based on the inner reflection.
Dr. Sasikala ma'am, you told and informed a lot of ways to practice and adapt, how one can just get themselves benefited and make themselves in adaptation. And there are many ways, I think. You have given a lot of examples and lot of ways. I would like to ask now, ma'am, to Patnaik ma'am. We are also joined by Professor Baswati Patnaik ma'am. In a very short span of time, I just want you to ask ma'am that what are more some basic steps, or I should say what are some basic ways of adapting this self awareness, or what we say self monitoring for ourselves. What could be those basic steps?
Thank you so much for this question. I think practically speaking, it is very difficult to monitor your thoughts all the time. But you have to make a practice. There are many ways. All of us, like I cannot blame the students that students are not good at self monitoring. Even at my age, I sometimes fail to monitor my thoughts, monitor my actions, monitor my emotions. I also repent at leisure that what I did was wrong, and I could have prevented it if I could have monitored my thought, or if I could have paused a little and then I could have acted. So I won't blame the students that they are bad or we elder people are good at it. No, it also needs practice for everyone. So if we actually decide to monitor ourselves, first step is to uh, pinpoint the target behavior. What actually want to change? In this particular adolescent phase, students, they face a lot of difficulty in fixing their assignments. They mostly suffer from what is called procrastination. That is, they want to delay the matter. कल करेंगे, होमवर्क है कल करेंगे, कल ये अगर your parents advise, अरे ये थोड़ा कर लो, कल कर लेंगे, हफ्ता, next week we will do it. So we delay and we actually postpone things many a times, and as a result of which we have to work late at night, then we have to remain awake till late at the night, and also wake up early just before the exam, and we suffer a lot during the exam because we have not slept peacefully last night. So what is important is we should not procrastinate. We should not delay things for a later time. Whatever is the task at hand, do it right away. But many of us suffer from what is called procrastination. Suppose I pinpoint before self-monitoring, that is, if I am procrastinating, then what is the frequency? First, I target that this behavior I am going to change. So let us take an example, procrastination. So suppose a particular student wants to change his or her procrastination, and he or she first must self-monitor at what time or at what frequency I am delaying the matter. So first step is to target, that is fix which behavior one wants to change. In this particular example, let us take procrastination. When after fixing what behavior I am going to change, second step is to take the record of what is the behavior like. Suppose in the morning you don't want to, you have actually in mind that morning walk is good, but you are delaying the next week से start करेंगे. So in the morning you first take note of it, you record it. अच्छा, सुबह in the morning I delayed my morning walk for some other day. Then after some period of time, then there is a study or there is some work which is by teacher or your parents, and you say हम कल कर लेंगे, and then you again record. So observation and recording the behavior, in this case the procrastination, the second step is to observe and record it at what time you are actually delaying it. Third is to observe and record the frequency of procrastination behavior. That means how many times you are procrastinating. So as Sashikala ma'am said, there are many ways of, recording and observing the monitoring behavior. That is, you can take the help of a checklist, or you can journal, you can write in your notebook, or you can take the app, technological app. Like there are many alarms or many digital apps which makes you alert like what time you did this. So there are many technical digital app which you can take help of for observing and also recording that the targeted behavior that you want to change. So this is the second step. So first is to target which behavior you want to change. Second is you adopt certain means of observing that behavior and also recording that behavior, the behavior which you want to change. Then this is not very easy. You have to actually do it continuously so that it actually becomes your own thing. For example, you may forget to watch your behavior in the night. So first you have to schedule it. You monitor yourself for a short period of time. Suppose you take an hour. From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'll pay a strict vigil on my work or on my procrastination behavior. So after 2 hours, you can take it easy. Then next week, you can increase the duration to 3 hours. Then next week, another. So within 1 month or 2 months, you can practice of monitoring your targeted behavior very well, very effectively. So slowly you have to implement the self-monitoring technique slowly and gradually till it becomes a practice. So for success, suppose you say from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. I will see at which activity I am procrastinating. So you have recorded your behavior and all that. So you have to reinforce yourself. Reinforce means you have to reward yourself. If you are successfully self-monitoring yourself for 1 hour continuously, you are able to do it, then pat your back and you love yourself for what you did, for your achievement. You don't depend on anyone to reward you or give you a chocolate or piece of advice or say good or you give your feedback to yourself. No, I could do it for 1 hour. So this self-reinforcement can go a long way in making this self-monitoring habit, to a large extent possible to your entire life. If you make a practice for a month, after 2 months, then a year, then it becomes a habit to yourself. So you don't need a checklist or you don't need an app for making yourself alert. So there are basically 3 steps. That is, first you identify the targeted behavior. Second is you choose a particular app or a checklist or a tally or any rating scale, anything to journal or to keep note of your behavior. And third is you have to reinforce yourself, you have to reward yourself for success in self-monitoring. And the fourth aspect is very important in self-monitoring, that is you have to actually believe that you are a good, you are good at self monitoring, and you don't need anybody else's feedback to change yourself. So this self monitoring is your strength and is your belief. And the fifth aspect is that the environment. Suppose I feel like ma'am said that obesity is a major problem. Suppose you cannot control your eating. So whenever you open the refrigerator and you find some sweet or any high calorie food, and you feel like, gulping them right away without any thinking. So environmental arrangement is also important in self monitoring. What you can do, you can make a sticker or a note on the refrigerator, and you can stick to that. Like you can write, do not gulp down aimlessly or meaninglessly. So such alarm or such words can deter you from acting impulsively. Suppose you are in the study table, in the calendar or in a stick note or in your wall, you can write, do not procrastinate, do not delay. Delaying will, hamper your exam. Or you can stitch in time saves 9. So there are many quotes which you can write and paste it as a picture in front of your study table, which will also make you more, help. It will be helpful in monitoring your actions. Whatever behavior is, is dysfunctional at the moment, you can identify that, and you can also monitor that with the help of how frequently it is occurring and how fast it is occurring. You can observe and record it, and at the same time make some environmental arrangements so that you can, you can also keep it, you can prevent it from doing, like I said, make a sticker or in the refrigerator on the wall, something like it. So you can reinforce and you can pat yourself, you can give your feedback. So that's it. You can be a very good self-monitor if you practice these things, all these steps. And you must believe that you can do it.
Right. I think, ma'am, today we had a lot of things which we had discussed, and I'm sure that most of our viewers have definitely understood that what is the concept behind this self-monitoring to manage academics and to improve our relationships, and what are some factors, what are some basic habits by implementing or just by practicing or adapting them into our personal life we can achieve success. For students' life, it is important that they should be practicing some basics in self-monitoring, and they will definitely gonna achieve their academic success. So I think today we had learned a lot of things. Personally, I had also learned a lot of things from all of you people, from all of you who are present in the panel, and it was amazing, a very learnful session in self monitoring, why it is important. So definitely our viewers will go ahead and they will try on your advice, and they will also go ahead by practicing, adapting and using in their life to achieve success. I would like to give a thank to Dr. Jeena ma'am, Dr. V. Sasikala ma'am, Professor Baswati Patnaik ma'am and Miss Divya Sharma ma'am for joining us in the session. Alright, thank you so much once again everyone. Now before wrapping this session, there is an important announcement for all the students of class 4 and 7 that now you can go ahead and purchase the textbooks on Flipkart and Amazon online, and also you can do visit NCERT's official website where you can purchase the textbooks. Now let's have a quick look on the upcoming sessions which you will be watching today on PM eVidya channels. After some time at 4 PM there will be a training session, and the topic will be building sustainable OER ecosystem. After that at 5 PM you will be watching our special session, that is Sahyog, and the topic for today's Sahyog session is natural environment and wellness. And at lastly 5:30 PM you will be watching Hindi session, which is the subject is Anandam Paricharcha Uttarakhand के प्राथमिक विद्यालय में भावनात्मक नेतृत्व on channel number 6, 9 and 12. So this is me, Deepak Mishra, now wrapping up with this amazing session which is called as Paricharcha. It is a beautiful and brilliant initiative from Ministry of Education as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Now allow me to close and wrap this session. We will meet next time with some more guests in another session, and we will be learning a lot of things. Till the time, take care of yourself, keep smiling, keep learning, and keep watching PM eVidya channels. Namaskar.